What if Goku was born early part 2? Now let's get right into the video. A space pod was landing on Earth as it has been 3 years, and a woman would come out and begin surveying the area. Goku would arrive, as he was a grown man now, as she would tap her scouter, seeing his power level was 80. She would scoff and say what a weak power level this is, and he would ask who she was and how did she even get here, as Goku would be confused seeing this space pod. She would explain that she is a Saiyan elite from planet Vegeta, and she has come to see if he did his job, and clearly he didn't, as there's all life flourishing all over the planet. She tells him to kill 100 people, or else she would destroy the planet herself. Of course, Goku would not allow that, as he would power up, his power level would be from 400, and she would smirk. Her power level was around 1,000, as she was suppressed. As they would begin fighting, Goku would be struggling, as the power level difference was a lot, but he does have a lot more experience in terms of martial arts, which is saving him. But her power and speed is much higher, as she would then show her full power, going to 1,500. Goku would have no choice, as he would then showcase his full power, as his power level would skyrocket to 3,000. Now, the reason why Goku has gotten this powerful is for the past 3 years he has been training to surpass his limits again. He has had the Ultra Divine Water, and he's also went to the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, which has now just been created by Kami, who is now the God of Earth, after King Piccolo. So, remember too, Goku also has been training with a Prime Kami, and a Prime Master Roshi, plus other powerful masters, and getting Zenkais, and everything else. And yes, he also added the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, so 1 day is outside is equal to 1 year in there, and he has been using it to train. Now, Roshi would arrive, and he would actually go into full power, and aka into his buff form, and his power level was 1,200. Reasoning for Roshi being so powerful is because he's been training with Goku, and this is Prime Master Roshi. He may not have as much experience as the old Roshi does from Dragon Ball Z, but he does have the power as he's in his prime physical shape. Now this was before any of them had the special herb to have immortality. So this is a prime normal human Master Roshi who has been training with Kami and Goku constantly. So altogether, she has no chance of defeating them at all, but she would try her best. And it wasn't a full moon, and she does not know the special moon technique to be able to create a fake moon. So, Goku would say she can either surrender or he will have to end her. And he tells her to leave the planet. But she would give up and not having a choice anyway, and because her spaceship is broken. During the battle, the spaceship was damaged. So either way, she couldn't leave, and there's no point in trying to fight them as she knows she's going to lose. So Goku would then talk with her, and I do feel like she'd begin to warm up to him. As imagine her as a rough, rude Saiyan. Like imagine her as Caulifla was, if that makes sense, to where she's a brutish, punkish kind of, hard-gritting Saiyan, to where she's no joke, while Goku's the carefree, goofy guy that we all know and love. So Goku and I think her would warm up to one another, and she would start to tell him about the Saiyan race and tell him about his people and the origins, and Goku would be very interested because he didn't even know that he was a Saiyan. He didn't know that. So Goku would be amazed to learn about all this new stuff. So Kami does know that her ship is damaged and that she does want to go back to home, but the ship is too damaged, and back then they did not have the technology like they do now. This is 300 some years before Dragon Ball even started. So Kami actually does have a spaceship that he actually has, but it's still damaged, and it would take years and years to remake it again and to work on it to make it better. So during that time, years would happen, and she would actually train with Goku, and the two would become very close. Now, over the years, they would soon fall in love, and they would actually have a child. Now, for what if purposes, we're going to call him Gohan, just to make things easier for me, as within a few years, their son, Gohan, was now growing at a fast rate, and he was already training with his dad. I would say that Gohan is around 5 to 6 years old, so it's been about 5 to 6 years. Now, the new spaceship was done, as it was the same Namekian spaceship that Kami had, but Kami had to rework on it, and refix it with the new Saiyan technology to make it even better, because the ship was old and damaged. So Goku was going to go alone. The reasoning why is because she still has her scouter, and she turned it off, the transmissions, so they don't know where she really was. Well, they kind of know where she was going, but so they don't hear her talking, but she's able to hear them, as she does know that they see her as a traitor, and that if they find her, they're going to kill her. So there's not really a smart idea to go. Goku's gonna go by himself, because Goku wants to see his parents, and also Goku is strong enough that he can really fight a good chunk of the Saiyans there. As remember, this is 300 years earlier. I'm gonna put that like the average Saiyan power level is, I would say, around anywhere from like 1,000 to maybe like 5,000-6,000 at like a high ball. So it's kind of the same, but it's average. They're not as strong as they were from Dragon Ball and such. So Goku would then get in the spaceship, as Goku was going to go alone. So if anything happens to him, they have the Dragon Balls. So if anything happens, they can do that. As it will take 1 month to arrive, Goku would be training the entire time, as he always does anyway. As he would land, the Saiyans were waiting for him, as he would walk out with a smile, saying, "Yo, how y'all doing?" As they would use their scouter to sustain his power level, it shows a power level of 1,000, which it wasn't really anything special. They would bring Goku to King Vegeta. No, not the one from Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. It's the older generation of their family. So it's still the Vegeta family and the family generation line, but it's just a different era of him. As this one was very old looking in his royal armor, as his hair was gray and he was aged. As he explains, he was a Saiyan from Earth, and that he came here to see his people. As King Vegeta was angry about his elite Saiyan failing her mission, but he could care less for her, as Goku asked to fight the strongest Saiyan. And King Vegeta would allow this because Goku asked that he wants to see his family. Now, King Vegeta wants to see if he's really a Saiyan or not, because he doesn't even have his tail, which is, I think, of mass disrespect, because the Saiyan relied on their tail. So, but Goku said, "I will fight the strongest fighter that you have. I want to see my mother and father first," and King Vegeta would agree. As remember, this King Vegeta is a more experienced, but not as brash and vengeful and rude Saiyan King. I wanted to make this King Vegeta a little bit more different. He's a bit more mature, a serious, and a more calm and collected Vegeta. And he's old and worn, so he's still no joke. He's the strongest Saiyan, pretty much. So he would actually go visit his mother Gine and also Bardock. Now, I will say this: I think that the Saiyans here are more barbaric kinda instead of future. So it's more like battle. It's more like a more older kind of Saiyan race. This is 300 years. This is 3 generations early. So they're a bit more brutish, more barbaric. They're not as advanced technology. They're kind of like the old ways of Saiyans a little bit, is how I'm going to say it would be like. So they would actually show a massive battle arena, and Goku would arrive there, and he would make very quick work of the Saiyan fighters who try to fight him. Now this is just for show, as there would be hundreds of thousands of Saiyans all happily cheering and really excited watching this newcomer come out of the sky and fight them. As the King Vegeta would then silence them all, and he would say, "This is his son Goku. His Saiyan name is Kakarot, and he is from a planet called Earth, and he has come here to show his Saiyan pride and to show that he belongs with one of the Saiyan warriors." So they would also be very happy, and Goku would be very excited to fight these Saiyans. I mean, who wouldn't? As Bardock and Gine would watch. Now, Bardock is actually pretty powerful. I don't think he's as strong as he would be from Dragon Ball Z. I do think that Bardock would probably have a power level around 4,000, 5,000 maybe. So he's still a strong elite Saiyan. So he's not like a weakling like he was. So they would have the strongest Saiyans go and fight Goku, and he would make very quick work of the Saiyan fighters. Remember, this is years later that Goku has been training to prepare for him to go to the planet. He's been training with a Saiyan Elite, aka his wife, and he's also been training with his son, but that's not really training for Goku, he's more like training him. And he's also been training in the hyperbolic time chamber more and more. And yes, it is very mentally hard on Goku, but Goku can take it. As remember, Goku's more, I would say he's more experienced, and he's also been training hard with Master Roshi as well. So, and also even Kami too, because Kami's still in his prime. So Goku has been training extremely hard to be able to be prepared, because she said that the Saiyans here are way stronger than Goku is, even like the average Saiyans, because so that's why Goku is, you know, needs to be prepared. And obviously with Goku's potential, this is 6 years later, I think that he would be a lot more powerful, especially if he has a goal. I think that Goku will obviously break his limits. So Goku was actually suppressing himself. He had a power level of around 8,000 suppressed. Now, King Vegeta himself would fight Goku. As he was the strongest, his power level was around 12,000. Now, Goku would use more of his power, and he would actually overpower the Saiyan King. Reasoning for it is because Goku is stronger power level, but King Vegeta, I think, could hold his own if he was in his prime. This King Vegeta is in his 80s, and they start to age very rapidly, as y'all may know. So he's a lot older, or he could even be older than 80, we don't know. But he is a lot more older, and he doesn't have the stamina that he had before, like he was in his prime. But he's still extremely powerful. So he would then show his new power, and well, not new power, and he would then create a fake moon, something that the Vegeta bloodline can only do. And the reason why I say this, even though Vegeta invented the technique, I just wanted it to be cool that like the royal family, they have the ability to create artificial moons from their own power and be able to use it to turn into a great ape. That would just be really cool, and like pass down to Vegeta, and Vegeta could do it. I mean, like, everybody can admit that's kind of cool. So he would actually turn into his great ape, which it was a grayish, more battle damaged great ape. Now his power level was around 120,000. Goku would use his full power, which was 32,000, but it was not enough to beat the king. So Goku knows that if he removes the tail, he can revert back to normal, and Goku would win the match. But Goku was getting beat around because, I mean, the great ape's way more powerful, but it's not as fast as a great ape who would have the same power level, because he is older. So that is the reasoning behind it. But he does have full control of the grade 8 form, obviously because of his age, and also Saiyans are taught to control their grade 8 form from birth. So that's the reason why. Now, but Goku has more moveset. He knows martial arts more, and he knows more key attacks that he's been learning throughout the world and learning from other masters. Now, Goku would use a brand new skill that he figured out, and he calls it the Solar Flare. As he would use it, and it would blind pretty much almost everybody. It would pretty much blind everybody, as they weren't prepared for it. As the king was blinded, Goku would have enough time to cut the tail off, and he would revert back to normal, and he would fall to one knee as Goku won the battle, but barely. Goku was very injured from that battle, so it was not one-sided. As Goku would help the great Saiyan King up, the Saiyan King would admit his defeat, and he would tell Goku that he is a true warrior, not even relying on his grade 8 power. As everybody would cheer very excited, Goku and them would be put inside of the healing tank, which, by the way, it was state-of-the-art tech back then. That was like the new good stuff that the Arcosians have given them. So Goku got a pretty good Senkai. I would say his power level buffed from 32,000 to around 40,000, as he earned the king's respect. I also feel like the king would get a power buff too, getting beaten like that. His power level would go from around 12,000 to, I would say, around 13 to 14,000. But remember, he's not much of a fighter no more, so he doesn't, you know, he only saves fights when he truly needs it. Remember, he even says it like that's for like the younger guys to go do it. So Goku would be pretty popular, and I do feel like a lot of Saiyan females would want to date Goku, but we all know that Goku's married anyway. So, but now, the king would be walking with Goku throughout the palace, and they would sit down, as the king has high respect for Goku now, as he deems Goku as the strongest Saiyan. As he asked Goku for help, as lately there have been these beings from the Arcosians, and they call them the Frost Demons, and they call themselves the Frieza clan, is what we're going to call them. And they have been starting to use the Saiyans as slaves, as before they were allies, trading planets for wealth and technology like they have right now, with the scouters and the armor and the space pods and the technology that they have. It's from the Arcosians, who are extremely advanced. But they started using them now, and they're starting to treat them as they're just mindless monkeys and slaves. So he would actually ask Goku for help, saying that Goku might be able to maybe take on Chilled, as he would say that there is a guy who is in charge of the Frieza clan, and he is the emperor of the universe, and his name was Lord Chilled. Now, Lord Chill's a part of the Frieza clan and is pretty much the leader of the universe, and he rules with an iron fist, and his power is the strongest. He defeated the king, and this was about 10 years ago, with ease, even in his great ape state. As honestly, Goku would be excited, as Goku would feel bad for the Saiyans being treated like this, but he'd be kind of excited, saying, wow, that Chilled guy must be super strong. Man, I want to fight that guy. He must be crazy. Now, he would agree to help them. If any trouble happens, they offer their best space pod, so Goku would get to Earth within a week. So, after meeting his family and everything, Goku promises to return, as Goku states that if Chilled is causing any other problems with you guys, let him know, as they would also give Goku transmitters and scouters and other thing, and they would also give him healing chamber stuff. So it's the liquid that if you put on wounds, it will heal you. And they put it in a special vase and hand it to Goku, so if Goku is training hard and he hurts himself, he can actually put this goo-like substance on his wound, and it can actually heal him. So Goku would actually thank him a lot, and he would actually leave to go back to Earth, promising them that if anything happens with Lord Chilled, or if anything's going to happen, to let him know, and he will come in and take him down if he ever causes any more problems. So the Saiyans were indebted to him, as Goku would then leave, and then Goku would go back down to Earth, and obviously his wife and son Gohan would be very happy to meet him. Goku would tell of his stories, and there would be a pretty funny jealous scene to where she starts bonking his head because he says that there's been like a bunch of female Saiyans like like rubbing up on him and stuff like that. It'd be really funny. She has adjusted to the human world more to the Earth, so she wears a bit more traditional Earth woman clothing and things like that. But she's still a Saiyan to the cells, so she's still a rough fighter. She's not like Chi-Chi, who gave up fighting and is like forcing her son to like study. I do feel like she does have the mother thing to where she still does like tell him like, hey, take care of Gohan, be safe with him. And I do feel like she probably is obviously teaching him basic knowledge and everything, because you don't want to be stupid. And but I do feel like the training, she wants Gohan to train more. She wants Gohan to be a kid, go play. If he wants to train with his father, go have fun. That's how the Saiyan family works. So she's really happy about that. So people who don't like how Chi-Chi is, this wife's not like that. So Goku would actually go to Kami, as he would actually explain everything about Lord Chilled and how powerful he is. And Kami doesn't know about Lord Chilled. He has heard about it from the Namekian book, but he doesn't really know too much about the race. They know that they are the most powerful species in the universe, and they are insanely dangerous. So Goku said there has to be something, or a teacher, or something that Kami knows about that can actually teach him. As Kami said, there is one god being that is above his level, and he looks after the entire universe, and he is a teacher. But to get there, you would have to die. And Goku's like, oh, well, I don't want to die. And Kami's like, no, you don't need to worry about that, because I can take you there. I can teleport to the other world and take you to this teacher. It is where the dead go, and it's like heaven and hell. So Goku would honestly say, okay, let's go do it. Now, they would teleport there, and Goku would see this giant red man, King Yama, and King Yama would be doing the thing, and he'll be say, wait, you're not dead, what are you doing here? Goku would explain that he's actually here to find this teacher, and his name is King Kai, and it'll be used to take down Lord Chilled, who's causing chaos. As King Yama would agree, saying that this guy has been killing people left and right, making his job chaos. So he would say that if you can make it across Snake Way, then you can do whatever you wish, but do not fall into hell, because if you fall into hell, you cannot get out. So Goku would then run across Snake Way, excited for his new adventure to take on the new threat of the universe. Now, that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys enjoy this series, and I should do a part 3. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you all later.